everybody, it's time to LOL. Listen out loud, that is. It's time for Anime Jam Session with DJ Ranma S, Mako-chan, and Ari Rockefeller.
Hey everybody, welcome to Anime Jam Session, episode number 609. We are that podcast that talks about anime, games, conventions, the fandom, geek stuff, and everything in between. I'm DJ Ranma S.
And I'm Ari Rockefeller.
Mako-chan is off tonight because she wasn't at AAC, so she kind of helped us out with some behind-the-scenes stuff, so we're going to roll with that. And pay no attention to what's behind the blue curtain behind me, so... But if you are paying attention, being nosy, it's part of my galley kitchen over here. For those of you who are listening, be like, "What's going on?" So now you know, and no one's after battle. Anywho, wow, we have a lot in store for y'all tonight. So before we get into all of that, let's get down to the base. You know, we got to drill down. So, Ari, how are you doing tonight?
I'm friggin' tired, man. I had to. Yeah, I'm just tired.
I wouldn't say I'm tired. I normally should be angry at the moment, but because of my new medication, I'm not. I'm just like, I'm all right, which is kind of shocking, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I'll get into that in just a bit. So let's go ahead and go through things here. We are live tonight, week of October 24th, 2023, right here on Twitch TV. We're here live Tuesdays from 9 to 10:30 p.m. Eastern. We did start a little bit late, and again, I will get into that in just a bit. So, anywho, you can always find us at Twitch TV /Anime Jam Session. And we're also proud to be part of the Voice of Geeks Network at VogNetwork.com. And they're also on Twitch as well. You can find them at Twitch TV /VogNetwork. They kick things off on Sundays at 8 p.m. with the Bobby Blackwolf Show, followed by Orange Lounge Radio at 9. And interestingly enough, Vog is live right now with Roundtable. So they were at TwitchCon, so they're talking about TwitchCon and all of that. I'm definitely going to check out the the replay of that, because I want to know what they thought of it, you know? Let's see, what else do we have here? Come hang out in our Discord at vognetwork.com/Discord. Every show that's part of the Voice of Geeks Network have their own channel, so come through and hang out and have a good time. And unlike most places, the pool is still open. So now that we got that out the way, we're going to get into how was your week? How was your day? Ari.
Well, my paycheck cleared this past weekend, which was good because I didn't have any other money aside from what was in my pocket to take with me to AAC, though I didn't go crazy on merch like others did.
Neither did I.
And yeah, I also had one overnight shift I had to do last night.
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully, it wasn't, Sunday night because I would have never made it. And we'll get to that. But yeah, the past week was mostly, AAC.
Right.
Talking about.
All right, cool. So my weekend day is pretty much the same, more or less. I didn't work. I worked like 3 days, get ready for, to go off to AAC, and and my goal is to minimize my ticket count. Usually what happens is if you go on vacation at work, you either A, clear out your tickets, B, clear out what you can, and you let the others on the team know that you're leaving, and you give them your tickets, or C, you do all of that, or if you know for a fact you can keep your tickets on hold till you return, you do that as well. So that was me, luckily. I had 2 tickets being held on to when I got back on Monday. That user's laptop returned, so I can close that out. And the other issue we've kind of resolved at work, which is why we're kind of had a late start today. So again, for those of you who don't know, I do IT for a living, and I do audio video work on the side. It's just mostly connecting mixers and speakers and microphones, something for, basic stuff like that. So been having some issues at work with our external microphones connecting to our sound system that we have within the walls and all of that. So I was working with the AV tech, and basically we have some events coming up, and we were doing a dry run of the external microphones connected to a brand new mixer and like these PA speakers that we have. So we got something going. We're good with that. We got something going. So basically I spent an extra hour doing a dry run, making sure things had a good, that sounded okay. And then packing everything up and getting out of there and picking up dinner, which is sitting on my stove. So I can, again, I can wait. So this Friday, we're going to hook up all that equipment, test it, and see if we need to purchase additional speakers, so that's fine, or replacement speakers. Now, as you know, and I said something about, I think I said about meds. So going back to August, I was supposed to start on Wegovy. I did not start on that till Sunday. The issue was, it's hard to find because this is one of those weight loss medications that rich people have been taking for vanity's sakes, as opposed to other people who need it for actual health sakes, So
been there, experienced that.
I feel you. And what's funny was the Rite Aid by me said, "Oh, we're going to have it in September." Okay. They never got it. I spoke to someone. They're like, "Oh, we weren't going to get it." So luckily, my insurance provider has a mail order service, so I went through them. It was like, I believe that Monday, like last Monday, I called my doctor about it. It went through, and like that Wednesday before I left, there's this big old crate. And I'm just like, what is this? And I bring it in, and I open up the styrofoam. There's ice packs in here. I'm just like, ice packs? What the? The medication has to be refrigerated. So that's what it was. So there I am, put it in the fridge. I figure I'll deal with it when I come back from the con. Get home Sunday. It's in the fridge. I'm like, I will deal with it on Monday. So Monday, I sit down, break it open and look at it. And I'm being slightly hesitant because I don't like needles. But medical technology has come a long way. I mean, like, most of us have gotten a flu shot and has not felt anything. Some of us who have recently gotten COVID boosters or other booster shots realize you haven't felt anything. Because for this med to work, you have to find like the fatty part, put the container to it, and squeeze until the entire medication is all the way in. And I'm thinking, I'm going to have to feel that needle for like 10 seconds, but I really didn't. I felt the prick, went through, done. Then again, the only time I really feel anything is like when I go to the doctors, like my primary care every 3 months for like a blood test, and they have to do 3 vials, So hopefully, with the Wegovy, that'll be eliminated. And so far, I will say, I didn't have breakfast by the time I got in. I had my lunch, and normally I'm snacking throughout the day. Today, I just had a piece of candy, which was a Jolly Rancher, and snackable cheese, a slice of that. And that's all I ate. And I'm just like, every time I look at the snacks, I'm like, I'm good. And I just walked away. Did drink a lot of water and flavored water, though. So, let's see how that goes. Yes. And Cedar Berry says, yes, those ones generally do have to stay refrigerated. It says once you crack it open, it can stay at room temperature. But you know what? I will do it that way, too. And 15 Tabby Cat says, diabetics take the insulin that way. Okay. I was not aware of that, but I'm glad the technology is there because I know people who have the traditional needles and all of that. And I'm just like, I couldn't do it. But, we've come a long way. Medical technology where we can get healthy and not have, and it reduces our version of needles, So now that we got that out the way, we're gonna get into some housekeeping. Let you know of our housekeeping notes here. Don't forget, episodes of Anime Jam Session are available on our YouTube page starting at Thursdays at 12 noon p.m. That's right, 12 noon p.m. It's at youtube.com/Anime Jam Session. You click on podcast VODs. No, you click on playlist, and then you go to podcast VODs. Episodes are there. And you'll also find other playlists there from our episodes from prior years, so definitely want to check that out. All right. Usually at this part, we would talk about the next convention that we're going to. And since I had just gotten home from work, and I have to probably put everything, I'm going to type it up now. So we want to let you know that we will be at J1Con at the next month, November 6th to the 7th at the Showboat Hotel and Convention Center in Atlantic City, New Jersey. We will be there, I believe, the 6th and the 7th, because no. The 4th and the 5th. The con, they're having like a nerd prom that Friday night, but we'll be there for the 4th and the 5th. So come through, come hang out. Michelle Knotts will be there. Mega Ran will be there. Mark Hildreth will be there. That's the main reason why I'm going, because I want to meet the voice of Terry Bogard. But he's also the voice of Hiro Yui from Gundam Wing. All right, we'll move along with that. We're to get into Geek Roundtable. This is where we talk more about the geekier aspects of our week, like what we've been up to. So, granted, you all know we have been to AAC, but we got a couple of other cool things to share about that. What have you got for us, Ari?
It's something, rather little. It's just showing this little accessory that I have.
Yeah.
It's a headband from Junk. That's the maker. And I saw this a while ago. It's like got all like different state flags on it. So I got New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted I want to show off what Gabrielle gave me this past weekend, but I can't find it, which sucks because it was hand drawn and really nice.
That's cool. Yeah, I have something from them from her too, so it's somewhere in my bag. Let's see. Like I said, I have a lot of figurines I've bought recently, and through Mako-chan dropping them off for me when she came to visit, I have them here. Interestingly enough, I did not buy any figurines at AAC because a part of me is like, I'm going to Japan in a couple of months, but also I only saw one figurine that I wanted, and even with shipping, it's going to be cheaper to order it from Otaku Mode, shockingly enough. So, and what I do is, I order 3 every month, and just kind of throw like discount points towards it, so it's not that expensive. So this one, I think I ordered this figurine from Otaku Mode. Is Maren Kitagawa from My Dress Up Darling, and this is the one of her kind of like she's running in the school uniform with her hand out to take your hand. I guess I do have her Shizuku-tan figurine on pre-order somewhere, so I think I have 2 of those. So. And yes, I realize as I'm showing the box, there is a gratuitous slight upskirt butt shot from the proper angle if you see right here. So I'm just like, oh, good Lord. So, anywho, it's another one. I will be adding that to the list. Unfortunately, as I'm looking at my display case, I realized I could probably fit maybe another 6 or 7 figurines in. But the issue is, which ones do I display? Because for those of you who are watching, behind the clothes that's hanging up behind me is a display of all the box figurines and so forth. And basically that's what it is. And oh my Lord, we just got rated from the people at VOG Network, the Voice of Geeks Network. They must have just finished their show, their VOG Roundtable about TwitchCon. So hi everybody, thanks for joining us tonight.
Hey guys.
Hey, I love that. We just got nothing but love around here. Woohoo! All right, so let me go ahead and take care of this real quick. All right. So now that we got that out the way, if you notice, we're kind of going a little quick because it's just the two of us, but also we basically have more or less 4 days of coverage. So we're going to go ahead and talk about AAC from day 0 to day 4. We have notes from Cinnanite cosplay, and we're going to kind of cover a couple of things that she mentioned, but she will have her full convention report on our website in the upcoming days. So stay tuned for that over at animejamsession.com. So let's go ahead. I just realized I forgot to load the soundboard. Let me take care of that real quick. All right, sweet, done. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the con. Let's see, we'll get into day 0. Let's get some first part up here. Yeah, and I just realized it's a little bit too low, so it'll be a little bit louder for the next one. I would have liked to do like a scene change, but I'm still working on figuring that out. I know how to do it, but the issue is the audio output, so I can hear it, so I know it's going out. So, anyhow, most people do day 0 as a perfect time to travel to the convention. Get ready for the con. Last minute toiletries, sewing, whatever. It used to be where people would just show up Friday, and part of the issue was sometimes you could not get your room until late, and you would miss out on a lot of stuff. So instead, people will just go in on day 0, unwind, relax, and so forth. And that's basically what we did. Plus, going in on day 0, you don't have to rush when getting out of work. So, and it looks like we got a thing to urge to herbal. So, Ari, show off those luxurious locks of yours, my friend.
With pleasure.
Ha ha. There you go. There you go. All right, so as always, thankfully to Ari, he was able to take me and Cinnanite up to the con. So basically, one thing about AAC, it's a very chill, very relaxed convention. So when we got there, we did make a couple of stops along the way, for food and stuff. I forgot a few things coming up, so we stopped off at the Walmart, and I ended up having to order stuff on Amazon that showed up the next day. Unfortunately, it didn't fit half of it, so it's already on its way back on a truck. So, Anywho, that Thursday, we got into the room, we unpacked, relaxed. I set up the office as my battle station, with my Surface, the chargers, everything, so I can dump my photos and my videos and so forth, which I was not really able to do because for some reason I bought a card reader and I already had one, but I was like, I'm probably not going to take it out of the bag, so I'm going to buy this one, which it just kept failing, but thankfully anything it copied was still intact, so there's that. So where did we go to eat that Thursday?
I believe you guys went out to get something.
Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah. All right. So the right thing about AAC is, as with a lot of conventions nowadays, you can go outside the hotel and there is food places within walking distance. I love it when you can walk and you can just throw a stone and there's a food spot. So right outside of the convention center is a shopping center. There is a market basket. There is a liquor store. There's an Italian restaurant. By the way, for those you don't know, Market Basket is a supermarket chain in New England. There was a Five Guys, a place called Godly, which is basically like a place that makes acai bowls and smoothies and crepes, that type of place. And there's also a spot called the Okie Poke, which is basically a poke bowl place. So me and Cinnanite went there for dinner. So that's what we came back, relaxed. I actually walked around that Thursday, ran into a few friends, and hung out with them and spoke to them, and just kind of wanted to get into the mood and kind of get things going. Because one thing I like about AAC is it's like a gradual startup, and you just get right into it, as opposed to some conventions where, to quote Smash Bros. Like All Star, hit the ground running.
Mhm.
So that was that was basically my Thursday. So Ari, how did your Thursday go?
About the same, really. I mean,
Mm.
all I did was, well, I just packed everything like, you know, the morning of, because I don't like, well, I had to make sure I,
Mhm.
didn't forget anything.
Right,
And
right.
it turns out I did. I forgot my freaking sleepwear.
You
That was
too?
huh?
You too?
Yeah. And I didn't notice until I was actually unpacking everything. I'm like, oh my God, I forgot. And it was even worse that I had something there which I didn't need, my swimsuit,
It,
because they're like, hey, we're clean. Like, hey, the pool's closed this weekend. What for? I had to worry about it.
yeah, we found out that the pool was closed. Sometimes I don't bring swim trunks to the hotel because it's like I don't feel like swimming. I'm like, if there's a hot tub, then yeah, I'll jump in there. But
Yeah, better that, yeah, the need it and not like have it and not need it, but versus needing it and not having it.
mm-hmm.
Now I wonder if it was legitimately because, like, they're cleaning up the place or renovating it, or I don't know, someone came in, had massive diarrhea, and it's going to take them all weekend
Oh
to scrub it down and clean it.
no, I think it was actual renovations because I walked over and I saw like the permits on the door. So
Yeah, I didn't look over there. I'm just like, oh man.
well, I was headed because here's the thing about the hotel. Where the pool is another set of doors. And that's
Mm-hmm.
takes you to the stairs up to the hotel rooms or to the exit that goes outside. And I went out there to their gazebo, which is a lot nicer than the Katsukan gazebo.
Well, to be fair, people aren't, fighting tooth and nail over it. So there's that.
Thank God for that. I mean, really.
But yeah, I just, I was pretty, worn down from
Mm-hmm.
driving up all
Yeah,
that way.
you were tired. We were telling you, just I was telling you, once you settle in, just rest, just nap, and then order delivery.
Well, what I did, I decided to go down to the bar that was there,
Mm-hmm.
see what was going on. I got dinner down there, which was pretty decent.
Yep.
I ended up talking to a couple people who were sitting at the bar, mostly because they were watching the ALCS going on,
Right.
including one of the guests was actually there, Spencer Lyles.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Mm-hmm.
He, because he's a huge Astros fan, and like he was very vested in watching the game, and it was him, me, and like this other couple on the other side of the little horseshoe
Right.
thing in
Mm-hmm.
the middle, just talking about baseball, the weekend, what was going on,
Yeah, yeah.
because it was clear that they were locals who had no idea what was happening this weekend.
I mean, you would think that well, then again, look, AAC's
It's
been
just a small con,
yeah, it's been there for
obviously.
about 3 years, so they don't get a lot of people, but they get enough. But I guess not enough for the locals to be like, they're coming.
Like, and also I had my badge by this point,
Mm-hmm.
so when I was talking to Spencer, he'd saw like, oh, what press outlet are you with? And I'm like, tell him about the podcast and whatnot, and he goes, oh, that's
Awesome.
pretty neat. So yeah, that's how I spent my day zero.
All right. Now, as the way Center Knight puts it, let me grab this here. She enjoyed the music coming up because generally when you're riding shotgun, you are basically in charge of the audio. So
Uh-huh.
we were basically listening to D4 DJ and Bang Dream. And basically these two animes have like a series of CD music and soundtracks and so forth. D4DJ and Bang Dream have cover albums, so we were listening to them. And as we were driving up, normally we would take Route 15, which is the Merritt Parkway. And going up in there, you can see the foliage of the trees, and it looks nice. Because because we were stopping off at that Walmart, we still could have stayed on. We still could have stayed on Route 15. We were on 95 and switching over, so it was nice. So the drive up was just really chill. It was like Ari brought it up to speed, hit it hard, and then once he got into the zone, we were just like settling in, just enjoying the ride.
I take good care of my passengers when I'm driving up like that.
Exactly. You got that was it was like a really good ride going up. So so that was basically our day zero. I did bring 4 cosplays. I brought Gartabelt, Luigi, Formal Lloyd, Shaggy Rogers. But as I said, here are my 4. There's no guarantee. Oh yeah, and also brought Black Jesus. So it's a total of 5 cosplays. So I said to people, here are my 5. No guarantees I will wear them all. I only wore Jesus for a few hours on Saturday, and I wore Gartabelt for a penny and stocking team on Friday. I should have worn it for a bit on Saturday, but I was just enjoying myself, just walking around taking pictures. So that was basically our day 0. So we're gonna go ahead and get into day 1, and that's when we're going to hit the ground running and talk about some of the panels and some of the cool stuff that we did. All right, I like the sound of that one. So, Ari, you want to take lead on this one?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Let's see. I believe I hit up the breakfast buffet that day.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was one of the days, definitely. And the stuff was all right. They had like, usual breakfast fare. The waffles they had were a little bit spongy looking, tasting. Though there was a guy there making omelets, and he actually did a pretty good job of that. So that was nice. I believe one of the let's see. There wasn't much to do in the morning because the first panel I had was at noon.
Mm-hmm.
So it was mostly just walking around or killing time either in the room or in game room and this was the first panel you and I both went to. Was Let's Rank Anime Openings.
Yeah, that was fun. That was fun.
Or he would do is he had his playlist of anime openings and he would play them and we would rate the opening based on our own personal tastes.
Mm-hmm.
There is a elite, good, mid, pass, and trash.
Yeah. Now the thing is about this panel, you're supposed to judge it based on the music alone. But let's be real. If you're going to a panel about listening to anime openings, you've probably watched 75% of them. So it's kind of hard to give it a good rating if the opening theme is badass, but the anime just falls flat. Mm-hmm. And on a side note, Bonds006 asks if we played Will Smith's song Just Cruising during the drive. No, we did not.
We didn't think about that.
Yeah, usually when we're driving to a con, I'll either play anime remixes or I will pull up like iHeartRadio's 90s play, like Gen X radio or 90s radio, or I will just put on some lo-fi or something like that. It all depends on the mood and the con and all that good stuff. So, as you were.
It's been a good amount of time in the game room. They still had the it was the same systems, mostly switches. I think there was like one PS4 somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Or PS5, one of them. But a lot of Smash was played that weekend. And also I got to try Super Mario Wonder for the first
Yeah, how
time.
was that?
It was actually pretty fun.
Well, I will be picking up my copy tomorrow because my copy got stolen or lost or something.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it got stolen. No offense.
None taken. I won't get into it now. I'll explain next week, but Best Buy was gracious enough to replace it. So that, and I've come to discover with a lot of my friends, FedEx sucks. Anywho.
Yeah. And let's see. The second one after that was a while after was D&D Therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, therapy was pushing a little bit, but basically there is a it was a one-time encounter. It was a 5-player band, and pretty much whoever wanted to be whatever class, they just like all grouped together, which also meant that some of the player characters had wildly different like wildly different personalities even among themselves, like they were just crazy. Like the bard that I was playing, one of the other guys just decided, hey, he's Texan now. I'm like,
Oh
boy, here we go.
look, there is a mod for the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that says Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Texas Edition, and from what I can tell, they've changed like the little quips and intros about the characters on the show in the game. And
I don't think I've seen that anywhere.
Well, here's the thing: when I'm working with OLR, like to do the classic game of the week or not board game of the month, I go to YouTube to pull the video, and I always see these things like that. It's from like the long gameplays channel or something like that. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, that's how the day was going that far for up to that point for me.
Mm-hmm.
What about you? Like, what were you doing?
All right, so I'm pulling up the schedule right now so I can go through things. Now, one thing I liked about the panel so far, it was like the schedule was laid out where you weren't going to really miss anything. You could have time to go do cool stuff and check out some panels. And I like the fact that they were spaced out, like there was a half-hour break in between. And I really think more conventions need to do that. Panel, 15, 30-minute break, do it like that. Because let's be real, not even a con like AX needs this anime retrospective panel done 5 times by 10 different people on 3 separate days.
Jesus, really?
Well, like, think of it like this.
I'll be right back.
Mm-hmm. All right, hold on. Let me do.
Sorry, keep going.
Okay, yeah. All right, so like, think of it like this. It's like Friday there is a panel about Rumiko Takahashi and her work. Fine. Saturday there is a panel about the Bishonens of Rumiko Takahashi, and then later the Bishojos of Rumiko Takahashi's work, and then on the third day, Ranma 1/2 a retrospective or something like that. I mean, I think that's just spreading things out a little bit too much. Even though it's like, well, we're doing it from this point of view or that point of view, or there's going to be audience participation, it's just a little bit way too much. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, it feels like, they could have just been condensed into one panel,
yeah,
I guess.
You're spinning the wheel multiple times already, so. So, again, I went to the Let's Frank Anime Openings panel, and I thought it was fun. And I did discover a couple of titles that I've been meaning to check out. So that's on my list. Now, after that, I stopped over to AAC's Whose Anime Is It Anyway? All Ages Edition. And I popped in, saw a little of that going on, and that was fun. I wanted to stop in on the creepers, how to avoid them and not become one yourself, because I have stories to share. I have stories of like my own self going to cons and not realizing and then trying to be a better person and so forth. But I never made it that I just never made it over there for that.
Hmm.
Let's see, what else did I do? I spent that time like actually doing photography, talking to people and relaxing. I wasn't like, walking like, oh, can I take your picture? Click, click, click. Walking. Can I take your picture? Click, click, click. I was just, oh, hey, can I take your picture? Click, click.
You weren't
Perfect.
as you weren't as going overboard with views
Right,
normally
right,
did.
right. I mean, I think I want to say I think we were the only one, if only, or one of the few press outlets there, So
I
I just
saw
hmm?
I saw like maybe like two or three other people with media
Okay,
badges.
okay, good, 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 good. But we're
One of them actually talked to
hmm?
one of them actually talked to me after the D&D therapy panel.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I'm glad to hear that. But I
Hmm.
think I'm probably was the only person on media that was walking around doing hall cosplay photography, because there's not enough love for that. Everybody needs like their 15 minutes of fame.
Hmm.
So now, one thing I like about anime cons is the formal dance. I like wearing suits to these types of events. I like having like creating a suit version of a character. Bonus points if this character already has one. Like Lloyd Forger has a suit. Yes, he has his traditional green suit from the anime.
Hmm.
Doesn't come in my size. One of his figures that they have is him wearing, I think it's called Party Suit Lloyd, and he's wearing a black suit. So I got that, put the pin on, and I rolled down with that. And they called it Cannonball because it was the theme of the convention, which was pirate themed. So it felt like a high school dance of sorts, going and people playing music here and there. They played Vic Mignogna's cover of "We Are," and I'm just like, I guess they don't know. And if you
Ouch.
and if you don't know what I'm talking about, Google his name, you'll understand. Blase, blase.
Hmm.
So there was talk on the forums about, for next year, let's do two dances. I think I like yeah, but for having two dances. And I said, let's have a Friday night formal and a Saturday night dance. Now I'm going to jump ahead a little bit. Now, are you already up in the room? But that Saturday night, they actually broke out the bar and put it by main events.
That I was not aware of.
I'm like, that would be so great. I'm like, you have main events for the Saturday night dance, 21 plus, and buy alcohol. I think now here's the thing. The way the hotel is laid out, main events and the three panel rooms could be all 21 plus stuff, and they could just have somebody standing right there, be like, this is 21 plus only at this time. That something like that would be great.
I'd be okay with that.
21 adult alley, something like that. That would be kind of cool.
Hmm.
That would be awesome. So anyway, let's get back to it. So I went to Cannonball, got a few photos. I wanted to go to do photos, dance a little, enjoy myself. That it didn't happen the way it did, but it is what it is. Let's see.
Uh,
Hmm?
that night I had recorded the 18 plus version of Whose Line Is It Anyway?
How outlandish was it?
It was pretty fairly out of pocket.
Good, good. Now, what's interesting is I know last year we recorded the 18 plus cosplay dating game, but I didn't get a chance to post it. But I was talking to a friend of mine that something happened during last year's game. Evidently, the MC made a comment and came off pretty transphobic.
Hmm.
And because of that, I'm like, yeah, that video is not seeing the light of day. I won't post it. But so after that, I went upstairs and relaxed. Now, one thing I will say this much about AAC. There were a lot of 21 plus events here, and I thought it was great. Now, they have what was called the LGBTQ plus Polyam Kink Soiree. And I'm like, I want to check that out. I want to meet other poly kink minded people. And
I haven't. I would have loved to have known about this panel.
They had it last year. I didn't realize it was pretty popular this year. So maybe next year you definitely check it out. Now I'm going to tread carefully on this. Now, for me, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. So I was kind of concerned about showing up because I'm a cis straight dude. But I went, talked to people, and we had a good time. There was a couple of little clicks here and there, but it wasn't so bad. And what they did as an icebreaker was everybody took a different color sticker, circle round sticker. And they would call right hand, blue this, and you would have to put that hand there with consent. And it was just fun all around. I didn't stay too long for that because I wanted to check out the Glenn and Eric's PowerPoint Pandemonium.
Oh yeah, I was at that one too.
I didn't even make it to that. So, because as I was leaving, I got called up to go to a friend's room for a room party. So I was up there for a little bit, and then another friend of mine was having a room party all weekend. So I stopped in over there, and that was pretty fun. Now, one thing for sure I can tell you about this, my con mornings usually is me getting up extra early, getting coffee, having breakfast, coming back to the room, getting dressed, and all of that stuff. Now, again, I left my sleepwear, so I got up at 8, showered, dressed. I went down for the breakfast. Okay, I really think they were asking a little bit too much for the breakfast buffet, but the omelets were banging, no lie. Omelets were great. Now, if that was like all that for like anywhere between $9 and $12, absolutely, I would have been all for that. Now, let's go ahead here. I'm gonna pull up a list here. Because Cinnamite had some thoughts about this. So she did her cosplays and got down there around 2:00 and had a good time. And she noticed that the dealer's room and the artist alley was put in multiple areas of the convention, which minimized traffic. So basically, the 3rd floor had the dealer's hall, had the dealer's room, and some artist alley in there. Down on the 1st floor, the main area by main events, where I would call it adult alley, there were tables set up there for artist alley. Now, if you're going to take the elevator up to the 3rd floor and walk towards the dealer's hall, there were some artist alley tables set up there, which was pretty cool as well. And there were signage throughout the con for repairs, which was great. And then one thing you need to do when you're going to a convention and it's out of state, check out the local food. You definitely want to. One of the things that we did last year, we did this year, was we went to a place called Mac and Cheese. And it's basically artisanal mac and cheese. So think of it with mac and cheese. You can get lobster, or you can get it like cheeseburger macaroni, like Hamburger Helper, or like a pizza style, So we ordered that, and that was absolutely delicious.
Yeah, that I remember eating like one of the nights we were there, as well as a Sunday on the ride home, but we'll get to that. Let's see. What else was I thinking about? Oh yeah. Back to the Glenn and Eric's PowerPoint panel.
Yes, please.
Those two are just as crazy as ever.
Yep.
Eric especially.
That damn Viking.
And yeah, it was him. There was the two of them. And I think Eric's girlfriend, she is.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, Sarah.
And
I know her.
And a 4th person who Roger, who also goes by the name Ska Luigi.
Yeah. He's good peoples.
They
Yep.
are they had to make PowerPoint presentations on whatever subject they wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And well, Eric's started out with the toilets throughout history and just took a huge. It just went sideways in it real quickly. But
I think that was the point of that.
Yeah, it was nice to see him again. Nice talking to him. Because they live around the Boston area now.
Well, yeah, Boston.
Yeah. But yeah, that was fun that day.
That's good. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and get into day 2 of another Anime Con.
Saturday.
Yeah. And as Bonzo Ballistic says, I heard Boston, my favorite out-of-state place to go. Okay. All right. So when I got up Saturday morning, this time, instead of doing the all-you-can-eat, I wanted godly for breakfast and a cup of coffee. So I went over there, and I know there was a Panera Bread, and I was just like, do I really want to walk all the way down there to the Panera Bread? So I started walking, and then I saw this couple, and they were coming back, and the guy had a coffee cup. I'm like, where did you get that? Market Basket has a cafe. So I thanked him, went in there, got my coffee, came back, and enjoyed it. One thing about the godly was that I got an acai bowl. That basically lasted me all day because I ate most of it for breakfast, and every time I come back to the room to kind of rest and recharge and attempt to dump video files, I eat some more of it. So there was that. What now? Because of the pandemic, I always expected, there'll be lower than normal turnouts for conventions, and it'd be like Friday would be like a Thursday, Saturday would be like a late Friday afternoon, and so forth. When we got there, and I was walking on the floor that Friday, it kind of felt like it was kind of slow. So I'm like, okay, Saturday and Sunday is going to be the same. It'll be a slight uptick. Saturday was like late Friday afternoon, people just rolling in, and I was just like, wow. And then it was like this massive uptick of people showing up, and then it just leveled off, and it was like, okay, I can do this. This was fun. I'm not freaking out about cosplay photography, because here's the thing. I sometimes get it in my head that I have to get pictures of everybody. Especially when you notice you're the only one with a media badge with a camera, So it's like, what now, So anywho, let's go ahead and let me look at this schedule here, and let's talk about some of the panels that I did. Where did I put it? Is this it? Nope, that is not it. Did I delete? Did I accidentally? Oh, here it is. With all these tabs open, it was kind of hard to tell. All right, so one of the things I did was I went to the swap meet, but I missed the bulk of it because I totally forgot it started at 8 instead of 9 o'clock. Because I have 2 copies of Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Houses, because I thought I had the first one already, but I didn't. I was just trying to get rid of it or swap it, but I did run into a guy named Rich who had like a crap ton of laser discs, and I'm just like, that was cool. So I did that. I was going to stop off at, the next thing I did was I stopped off at the Fun Doesn't Need to Stop Cosplay Over 30 panel. And it was basically a cosplay positivity panel about you could be in your 30s or your 40s and start cosplaying and having a good time, showing photos and examples. That was great. Now, I wanted to swing over to basics of con photography because everybody has a different way of basics of basics of this and the basics of that. I will tell you this for basics of con photography. You don't need an SLR. You don't need a digital DSLR. You don't need a mirrorless. Just get a simple point and click. Start taking pictures from there. Learn the style of taking pictures and so forth. There's a camera that's in between point and click and DSLR called Canon calls them APSs, Advanced Photo Shoot. You could turn it's basically a point and click, but it has some advanced features like shooting in RAW and programming and stuff like that. That will be your first camera to start with. I would say you get that. Start taking pictures of everything. See what you like. See what works. Look at other cosplay photographers and see how they shoot. And you'll find your own style from there and you will go. I know people who still shoot with those types of cameras to this day and they have great pictures. It just depends on how it is. And there is your cosplay photography 101 panel for the most part in under 5 minutes. All right. So I went upstairs and got the equipment for the Idol Showcase, and I absolutely love it. I always enjoy it every year. Basically, for those of you who don't know, the Idol Showcase is basically Love Live groups in the New England area. Either one person is representing the group or the whole team. They're doing a Love Live song. Whether it's Love Live, Sunshine, Superstar, Nijigasaki. That's basically what it was. But over time, you have other idol shows like AKB48, the Idol Master, and there are Hatsune Miku and Project Sekai. There are male idol anime shows as well. So basically, this is what it exploded into, and that's what it's become. So you have different idol groups coming together just to do a performance, and it was great, and I really enjoyed it. The only thing that sucked was the fact that when this happened, it was torrential rain. And there was talk of rain for 3 straight days, and thank God it wasn't. Thank God. So we went ahead, and what was interesting was like about a half hour in, staff had to come up on stage, wipe down the stage, and let other groups perform because there was a leak. And where I was standing, it was like the floor started leak. It was like gathering water. I'm like, this is not good. And the way the water was hitting the tarp of the tent, I'm just like, oh my God, the water's going to come through and they're going to just find a bunch of drowned weebs floating around. I'm like, oh God. Not good. Not good at all. All right. Let's see. Let me go back to my schedule here. So, after the Idol Showcase, we covered guest Q&A. I can't tell you too much about it. Cinenite covered that. Basically, for those of you who don't know, guest Q&A is when the con has all of their guests on stage and you ask various questions within reason. The outlandish stuff is saved for Guests Uncensored, where they check you for filming and stuff like that. So it ain't gonna happen. So while that was going on, I just took more time to relax, eat, and so forth. So I went back and I covered the Masquerade. And I will say they had a 3-hour block for it. Everything was done in under 2 hours and it was great. There was some great dance scenes. There was some great skits. I really enjoyed it. Now, there was one skit that stuck out of my mind. And I believe her cosplay name is Pepper Mango or Pepper Star. I don't remember. She just sent me a message on my Instagram, so I got to respond back and talk to her. Her skit, I enjoyed. Now, her and her friend, I saw them earlier that day. They were dressed as Yotsuba and Miku from the Quintessential Quintuplets. Now, I don't know if I've said it on this show, but I basically have a hate relationship with the Quintessential Quintuplets because I watched the first season. I thought it was great. And I accidentally spoiled myself on how the manga ended. And I didn't like who the main character ended up with. So I was like, you know what? fuck this anime. I'm not no. Talking to her and her friend, I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll watch the second season and the movie. Now, Pepper was telling me this was their first masquerade. They were nervous. And I'm talking to her. I'm like, you got this. This is fun. Just enjoy it and just roll with the punches. And she was talking about how, how some cosplayers take this a little bit for serious and all of this. I'm just like, look, as long as you have some type of love in your heart for the cosplay, and as long as you're going up and you're having a good time, just roll with it. You're going to make mistakes, but it happens. So I wouldn't worry about it. And her skit was Exercise and Motivation by Yotsuba. Now, hold on, let me get a little sip of water here. When I started cosplaying and doing skits, they allowed for microphones on the stage because some people had speaking parts. Eventually, a lot of conventions eliminated that and said everything has to be pre-recorded because doing a skit and you're passing the microphone back and forth, I guess it just didn't look right, which is understandable.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think they did this last year, but AAC did it this year. I think about a third of the skits, they had people doing their performances with microphones, which is kind of surprising. But honestly, it really didn't take away from the skit, and I was okay with that. The only major issue that I had was where I was sitting. Now, Anime Jam Session, we are always appreciative of getting media badges. We are. And we will bust our ass for your convention and get it done. All we ask for is like a good spot to sit down, to take pictures, and have the camcorder to record the events. That's it. Mm-hmm. So, where I was sitting, I really couldn't get as best shots as I could, but I worked with what I got, so it wasn't so bad. I kind of wish that the stage was a little bit higher, but I believe the stage was maybe about a foot off the stage. I actually have my tape measure here, and I'm just looking at it. Yeah, had to be maybe at least anywhere between 6 inches and a foot off the ground. So that wasn't so bad. I just don't like to see like people's heads at the bottom of the video when people are dancing, because maybe they're doing like a kick or a drop or something like that, and you can't see it because of that. But it is what it is. And I'm proud of her because she got 2 awards, so I think she was really good, and I'm proud of her. And I actually told her that the next day when I saw her. So after that, me and Sin and I met up with some friends, and we went out to dinner. There's an Asian fusion bar right up the place. I thought it was like a block and a half away. I thought it was just sushi and stuff like that, but it was all Asian food. It was really good. I had Mongolian beef, delicious. Right?
Yeah, it sounds good.
Yeah. So on the way back, I decided to put on my Black Jesus cosplay and playfully troll my friend Eric, who was running Dungeons and Dragons Count of Margaritaville. It was basically their D&D live play. So I definitely went and checked that out, which was kind of fun. And then I had went over to It's Always Sunny at AAC 21 Plus edition, and that was like really outlandish as fuck all. And I guess that I think his name is Matthew McKenna, who runs game shows, is getting married and so forth. And I walked up to him as Jesus. So I was like, look, I don't know you that well, but my old man does. I just want to let you know that you're on the list. And he's like, what kind of list is that? You're on the immunity list. So basically, you're going to heaven no matter what. So you're good. You have a golden ticket. So, And as Bonds006 says, pet peeve is taking pics and vids of events, the bobbing head and the random waving arms. I get that, Now, one thing, I do have one pet peeve when it comes to photography. But I take blame for it. It's my fault mostly. If I'm coming to take a picture of you and you're with a friend who's cosplay, don't jump in the picture. Don't do that. Or The other person's like, me too. I can't bring myself to say no, just them. So basically, I just take pictures of them together, then I do solo shots, and I go about my way. So that night, I went around as Jesus, had a good time, went to a couple of panels, and it was good. I really enjoyed that. And I'll say that my Saturday was pretty fun. I didn't get back to the room until late, but pretty damn good. So, how was your day too, my friend?
Well, I did manage to get to the Press Your Luck panel again. From same as last
Yeah,
year.
you had to defend your championship.
Yeah, this was a second game because he shot 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
They even got called returning champion, which when his stuff eventually makes it onto his onto his YouTube channel, you'll see again. But I had a lot of fun doing it. It was it was fun. Only problem is I didn't win because I whammied out the most inopportune times. Like you probably hear me screaming, "Not again!" So, yeah, I mean, he was glad. Like the host was glad to see me again. That was for sure. Let me double check my schedule here. And then, later on I went to fan and parasol painting.
Okay.
Which is just they have all the equipment there for you. The paints, you can choose a fan or a parasol to paint up, and you're just on your own to do it however you like. I left mine in the car because it's kind of ugly. Because I thought I was gonna paint something in like midnight green, but unfortunately the paints weren't the quality I thought they were, and also I know nothing when it comes to painting. And well, I just kind of sort of made it look like what do you call it? An Animal Crossing leaf.
No, that's good.
Other than that, it wasn't much to pardon me, write home about because again, I suck at painting.
It happens. I mean, I suck at arting, but I mean, I would say you should get yourself a set of watercolors and give it another run. Why not?
Yeah, possibly.
But
other than that, it's a lot of it was just walking around playing games in the game room again. And oh right, I had dinner at the quote unquote buffet they had. But it wasn't as good as the breakfast one.
Yeah, what was the difference?
Well, a little more expensive, and they had a salad, chicken parm, pasta, green beans, and you can get your own salads. And obviously, they had to make it for a lot of people, so quantity over quality. I mean, it was okay, just nothing too spectacular to write home about.
Okay.
And well, I spent most of Saturday night, resting after that because I had to drive home, and I didn't want to, just be a wreck when I was driving everyone back home.
No, I totally get that. Now let's take a look at our notes here. I forgot to. I just realized I forgot to mention. Sin and I did attend a couple of panels Friday. She went to the Fairy Lantern panel and the Icebreaker event. She went to the Fairy Lantern panel. To make a fairy lantern, which is kind of cool. She went to the Icebreaker just to meet more people, which was really fun. Now, Saturday, she went to the swap meet and she went to get rid of some things, but she didn't do too well. And here's the thing, swap meets have different definitions. Like in some states, if you're having a swap meet, it's just strictly trade for trade. Some states, if there's a swap meet, it also doubles as a yard sale. Like Zenkai Con, their swap meet was basically like a yard sale. So she also went to the Jasper Jax, the cosplay dog story, who I believe was part of the masquerade, which was kind of fun. So, and since she is a dog owner, she went to go check it out and enjoyed it. She did, and like I said, she did cover the guest Q&A panel for us. They were allowed, basically how it went as she puts it down. Attendees came up to answer questions. So I guess the voice actors threw some questions out at them, and Barry Yandel actually went into the audience and encouraged people to participate, which I thought was really wonderful. And we're going to get back to that in just a bit. And attendees were okay to ask multiple questions. Some were traditional, and like a voice actor's favorite role or favorite type of food or something like that, which is great. I believe this is one of the first few times she's actually been to a masquerade, because she comes with me to help by watching, like while I'm running around taking pictures, she's manning the camcorder on a screen and making sure that the video plays through. And unfortunately, we couldn't use the external screen because the battery died and I forgot to charge it, which I'm going to charge it as soon as I'm done with tonight's show. So let's take a look at this. As she puts it, well-rounded in terms of walk-ons and skits and perfect length. The MC was excellent and kept the audience going in an overall steady flow. The cosplays were stunning, and the support I saw the cosplayers who performed were so wholesome. And that was true. Now, I will say, Uncle Yo is a great MC. I love it. He comes out there and gets into this spiel and gets you hype and gets you motivated to go. I forget the MC's name for this, but I did hang out with him later that night because he turned me onto this spiked seltzer, which is really good. He has like this nice, chill, calming, mellow voice. It's like a booming mellow voice that just gets you going. It's just like, we're going to enjoy the ride. So that's what I liked about that. So, as she says, the only suggestions I have is to save some time at the end for a big group picture of all the participants. That is something that the Idol Showcase did, but we're outstanding. I think a couple people got cut off for my picture, and I apologize for that. But for the masquerade, I think some conventions, as big as they are and as big as the stage is, you could probably get everybody to come out for a group shot, which is just great, you know?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that was basically our Saturdays. So now we're going to get into Sunday. Who went first on the other day?
I think you did.
All right. So take us away for day 3.
So, nope, don't want to forget that.
Yep.
Yeah, we packed everything up, put everything in the car. I had to, after loading everything up, I had to drive into one of the gas stations and get air for my tire, because I didn't want to stay. I don't feel like staring at the, tire pressure light coming on the entire way home. No matter how badly I think it needed it.
Right.
And let's see what else. Where is it? We have there's only one panel we went to, Barry Yandel.
Yes.
About mental illness.
Yes. That I thought was an amazing panel. Now, one thing about being press and media, we're basically allowed to take pictures and record video and so forth. We double checked with Barry if we could record this, and he was like, "Sure," because it seems that he does this panel at all cons that he go to, and I think this is something that should be at every panel, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it
So
was
yeah,
very moving what he was talking about.
it was.
But well, like, what else did you do?
No, let's talk a little bit about the panel itself. You know.
Uh-huh.
All right, so
Oh,
basically, all right. So basically, Barry's panel. Let me pull it up here. I want to put it as the proper name of the panel. Darkness to Light: A voice actor battles mental illness. Now, before we get into this, he puts a disclaimer that he is not a professional or not a doctor or anything. He just tells of his experience of dealing with mental health and just getting better. I will say this. A lot of us have friends who deal with various degrees of depression or schizophrenia or this or that. What we should be doing is just helping and supporting that friend to the best that we can. You're not a genius, but sometimes when you feel like you see that your friend is not doing well mentally, just rolling through, just hanging out and just sitting there does a world of difference. I have a few friends, they're dealing with some rough times, and I'm just like, well, I'm here. And sometimes I will make the call and I'll ping them and be like, you good? What's up? But that's basically was his panel. He talks about being a teacher and then dealing with mental health and the death of his mother and going down, spiraling down, and then building his way back up and trying to find a middle ground to live life. And there were other people there at the panel who shared their own stories of fighting their own mental health battles. And and this reminds me of a quote that I've heard, but he also mentioned it at the panel. I don't remember it fully because he said another person walked up to him and says, it's people are here to help me, but it's my problem, something like that. It basically means like, yes,
it's not your fault, but it's your problem.
Right. I can't help that I'm doing. It's not my fault for this is happening. I'm not sure, but it's my problem to figure out and find a solution. That's basically what it is. And given how, a lot of conventions are doing panels about people that are on the spectrum with ADHD and other things, I think this is a good thing. We need to open up because we're not all the same, I would love to see more panels about, how to deal with a friend who is depressed, or you're an anime fan who's autistic, come join the squad, or anime and I have ADHD, come hang out with, because I know there's some of us feel it as a stigma and it really shouldn't be. Again, this is one of the reasons why on my personal Facebook, whenever I'm in therapy, I talk about it. I haven't done it lately because we're kind of rehashing stuff that's been kind of lingering with me, and that's all right. So I just feel when I talk about that, I have nothing to hide. I just want people to understand that I'm kind of dealing with some shit, and I just want to tell you of my journey as I deal with this shit, So that's a panel all three of us went to, and I thought it was very thought-provoking, very moving, and also educational as well. Now also on Sunday they have what was called the yard sale, and I've gone to that. I picked up Galaxy High Seasons 1 and 2 for like $20 like last year, year before last. It was great. As per what Sinai has said, she picked up a Kirby plushie for $3 and a bowl for $7, and she thought it was the greatest ever. She went to a panel about No, not a panel. So it was somebody selling loose tea. So she went and enjoyed some of that. And like I said, she was with us as well. So overall, AAC is one of those conventions that can be considered, I guess, Babby's first convention, but it's also your second, your third, your fourth, your fifth, because there are people that attend that you'll see on the regular. AAC is like that hangout spot con. Yes, there'll always be new people coming every year, but you'll have like a good chunk of the people that are there you'll see on the regular and you'll know them, you know? It's the schlep. It's a schlep to get up there because we're coming out of the New York, New Jersey tri-state area.
Oh
But
God.
but I will say it's to me it's well worth it. You're going to have a good time. This is like a vacation con of sorts. I mean, I brought 4 costumes and I brought 5 costumes. I wore 3 of them and I had a good time, you know? I wore it, did what I had to do, take it off and went about my day. There are
Yeah, the drive back was
yeah.
a mess because we ran into like a total of like 6 accidents,
Mhm.
and it cost us like an additional hour and a half of travel time.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. And then and this is after we had stopped at Mac and Chews to
Mhm.
eat lunch.
Yeah, that's what we did. Normally we pick the spot, you know, afterwards, you know, to go. Sometimes we'll stop along the way, or we'll just find a plot nearby. Mac and Cheese has become our go-to, so we stopped there for lunch. I ordered dinner, and we went about our merry little way.
Mm-hmm.
Stopped for coffee along the way because I was like zonking out more times than I normally should.
Oh God, yeah, you have no idea. Like I was in the same boat. Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it was because I felt like I got enough sleep, but I was it. It felt like I was looking at like like my vision was just like a series of like AI generated images of
Right.
and they were like just rapidly shifting back and forth. That's what it felt like for me.
That's not good.
Yeah, but it did get us home safe and sound.
And you did. And we can't be more appreciative of you to do that.
Thank you.
Now, again, I will say AAC is a great convention to go to. It really is. You could actually make like an actual vacation out of this because this is not the West. Let's see, the Westfield Hotel. Hold on here. I actually forgot the name of the hotel. Let me pull it up from my notes here because I have like a folder here for just nothing but hotel reservations. And for some reason, it's not coming up in the archive, so I'm gonna go to the web and see if I can find it here, which that should not be a problem. Maybe I should have rebooted my laptop before rolling up in here. All right, so the place is called the Westford Regency Inn and Convention Center. It's a quiet, quaint hotel. You could go there and enjoy this convention and stay an extra day and just check out the stuff nearby and have a good time. This is one of those types of hotels, and this is one of the types of conventions where you'll meet some friends and you'll realize half the friends you meet there are local and they'll come through and hang out with you Sunday evening or Monday before you leave. So
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see an actual formal dance. I'd like to see like a 21 plus dance party. I would like to see that, you know. Those are a couple things I want to see. And like break up the panels a little bit more. I know the people that run the It's Always Sunny panel, they want to be in main events next year.
That should be fun.
Well, I mean, if they use main events for the dance party, then stick them in the tent. But then again, they'll be a little bit too loud. So if the weather is fine, then put the dance party out in the tent. But it'll be I don't know how they would set up like a mini bar, Figure something out one way or another, Actually, up on the third floor, where the dealer's hall is, there's a large panel room. Put Always Sunny up there. That you can do. That'll be great. So this is a great convention. If you're looking for something to break the monotony of large conventions, if you just want to go cosplay, chill, have a good time, and not stress about stuff and meet great people, AAC it is. Ari, what's your takeaway on this con?
Yeah, it's it's a nice convention to go to. I love the hotel, love the atmosphere of the place, and aside from the traffic nightmare coming home, it was getting up there was pretty fun.
That's good, and that's all I have to say about that. And normally, this is the part of the show where we would just go right into Meanwhile in Japan, and we have 2 articles here. But you know what? It is late. We're going to save those stories for next week when Mako comes back and we do our normal show. We are going to wrap things up because, again, Ari needs his sleep. I kind of want to have dinner and enjoy myself and catch up on some anime because that's what I've been doing since the strike is still going and none of the TV shows that I watch are on, so that's quite all right. So, let's go ahead and play the closing theme track. But first, I gotta make sure the volume is at a point where it's not gonna blow out anybody's ears. Let's see, and away we go. So if you like tonight's show, tell a friend, then tell another friend, and so on and so forth. We're independent bloggers, independent podcasters. What we like and don't like about the cons and articles, so forth, we're going to tell you straight up. So if you have any questions about the show, drop us a line at podcast@animejamsession.com. Again, that is podcast@animejamsession.com. We're here to believe you. Check out our slightly new updated website at animejamsession.com, where you will find anime reviews, our weekly podcast, cosplay tips and tricks, cosplay tutorials, reviews, editorials, links to our YouTube and Facebook pages for convention coverage, and a lot more, all at animejamsession.com. Let's see what else we have here. Podcasting. You can find our show on Apple Podcasts, TuneIn Radio, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Anchor FM. Over 600 episodes to check out. And what's great is these apps allow you to leave a review. So if you could, please leave one. We greatly appreciate that, Side note, Bonzo6 says he found a ripping in his work pants. That happened to me yesterday. Even after I patched them, I ended up throwing them in the trash last night. So, yeah. Follow us on our social media pages, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. It's Anime Jam Session. Follow us on those so you know when we're going live, when articles are going up, when a new episode is going up, and then some. And for those of you who follow us on our socials, thank you. We could not do this without y'all. Now, our tip jar. If you're participating with us live, there are links down below where you can donate to our Stream Elements, our Streamlabs, and our Ko-Fi pages. If you can't do that and you're still live, cheer us on with bits. We'd love that. Or sub to the channel and hand out a gift sub. We appreciate that because every little bit counts. Now we're going to go around the room. Last words, Ari.
I'm getting updates about the NLCS, and well,
you're not happy.
Let's just say this is the part where I should be breathing into a paper bag.
My last words. Eat now, That is it. End of list. We'll be back next week with a brand new episode. Mako-chan will be here. Ari will be here. I will be here. Will you be here? We hope that you do. So, I'm Ranma.
And I'm Ari.
Great fight. Great night. See you next week.
Good night, everybody.
Say goodnight, Ari.
Good night, Ari.
And I'll say it too. Good night, Ranma. We're out of here. See you all next week.
This podcast has been a production of Anime Jam Session and AJS Productions. No fanboys and fangirls were hurt, maimed, shot, electrocuted, or pistol whipped in this episode. For now. The views, opinions, and thoughts expressed on this show do not reflect the staff or the network as a whole. But we're still right, damn it. For transcripts of this episode, start typing. Check us out at animejamsession.com and vognetwork.com for more information about us and other programming. Jamatane!